There's really just nothing better than time spent out on the ocean. The salt in the air, the breeze on your face, the sound of the water lapping against the hull. This is why we bought a boat, to get out there.
But that's not where we are.
Nope. We're on the sticks in the boatyard, about to put in some serious sweat equity. Maybe it's bad luck, maybe it's that we bought a 30-year-old boat, but we've got a lot to do to get this boat seaworthy again. And we've never done any of this before, so should be interesting. But this definitely wasn't the original plan. We splurged on this boat thinking we were getting a vessel that was ready for cruising. And after an unfortunate series of events, here we are, in the yard, about to basically do a refit. And looking back on our journey thus far, there's a lot we would do differently. And we're hoping maybe our experience can help save someone else a lot of headaches. So if you're looking at buying a boat or thinking about getting into the cruising lifestyle, this video is for you. So today we thought before getting into any of the project videos, we do a Q&A style video. We put out a poll on our Instagram and we got a lot of really great questions as well as questions in our comments over the last few videos. So yeah, let's answer some questions.
God, I'm already sweating.
God, it is hot.
In honor of the World Cup, Mexican Coke.
Okay, so let's preface this with the fact that we are not seasoned sailors by any means or professionals in any of these, but we did just go through the purchase process. So we have some thoughts about what we would probably go back and do differently if we were to do it over again. We were brand new. Neither of us had experience buying a boat, sailing a boat, anything to do with boating. So yeah, these are just things that we learned along the way to hopefully save any of you guys who are looking at purchasing a boat. We've gotten quite a few people reaching out saying like, hey, we're looking at buying a boat. Can you give us some advice? Here is all of our wisdom and knowledge in our first 5 months of boat ownership.
Yeah, if we did do it again, I do feel like we would have a completely different approach.
Let's just get right into it
Yeah,
then.
rip them off.
Question number one, and probably the most asked question, especially on our last video, was did we get a survey?
We did. Yeah, we wouldn't have bought a boat without the survey. Mm-hmm. We did do it. It came back with a clean bill of health. Obviously now, hindsight is 2020. A lot more problems than the survey popped up, but we did do a survey, spent about 3 to 4 hours on the boat with a surveyor. They went tip to tip, looked through the entire boat. We took it out for a sea trial, put it through its paces for a couple hours, came back, did a huge debrief, got like a 20-something page document, yeah, again, with the knowledge, we made decisions based on the knowledge that we had. Mm-hmm. And the survey came back clean.
Not just clean. The surveyor said it was one of the cleanest 30-year-old boats he's seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the glowing recommendation on the survey is definitely why we upped our budget to get this boat, which, like you said, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a 30-year-old boat. It's the same thing if you went and bought a 30, 50, 100-year-old house. It's going to have issues. Things are going to be missed. That's what I equate it to. It's the same as buying a car or buying a house. Mm-hmm. Is that like it's not gonna be perfect. They are going to miss things in the trial and in the survey, and unfortunately, that's what happened for us.
Yeah, I mean, another piece of the puzzle is the surveyor for a general survey only has so much time, so he can only go so deep, and he definitely prepped us. We actually really liked our surveyor. We got along with him really well. We felt like he was super thorough when we were on the boat. He sat us down, talked us through everything, allowed us to take videos for our own records so we could look back at it.
Yeah.
But there's only so much time that the surveyor has and only so deep he can go. So yeah, let's go on to what came up on the survey and what didn't come up on the survey that we found in our first 3 months. So the only thing that I can think of that came up on the survey related to our electrical was to upgrade one of the T fuses. The ABYC standards had changed. He said they change like every year almost. Yeah. So he said that one of our fuses was out of date. But other than that, there were no
And one of the studs that they were using as a bus bar. It's not, I think the ABYC rule was that like you can only have 5 wires coming off a stud, and we had 6.
Yeah. So we would have to get another stud.
So there were a couple things that like weren't real safety concerns, but more like standardization concerns. But then, yeah, things like the AGM and the lithium being in the same bank, again, the wires just weren't traced all the way, so that wasn't caught. We turned the inverter on and the AC worked. Didn't know that it was going to blow, you know.
He turned our air conditioner on. It worked fine.
Yep.
I don't remember if he plugged us into shore power or not while we were.
We did plug into shore power.
Yeah.
So like all those things, again, I equate it to buying a house. Is if the owner is selling the house, they're going to fix it up, right? A lot of times owners before they sell will get the floors and the walls clean, maybe repaint the wall, and things look great. And then when you live in it for 6 months, a lot of those cracks then come through, and that's what we're experiencing now too.
Yeah, the house settling.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I can't think of anything else that really came up on our survey other than regular maintenance, really. Things that you're expected to do every year, every 3 years, like bottom paint.
We knew the paint was coming.
Yeah, we knew the paint was coming. We knew that we would probably have to replace some through holes at some point.
Yep.
Just kind of like regular maintenance stuff. Nothing that stood out of like a major repair in the survey, which brings us to the next part of that question of what didn't pop up in the survey that we found pretty quickly. Obviously, day 3, our inverter blew, and that is a whole can of worms that we'll go into on our electrical video. But there's just a lot of things wrong with the electrical system, hence why we have hauled out and we are going to be completely overhauling it. The transmission didn't pop up on the survey.
That one is unlucky. We spent a half an hour on the transmission in the survey, going through each RPM, testing it, pushing it forward, backward, multiple shifts, underway with the sail, rudder. Like, we did a bunch of tests on it. And it passed the test. It is unfortunate that 50 hours later it went. We had a lot of comments too on our prior YouTube videos of people saying, oh, it's just a clutch cone. Oh, you didn't have to. We took it to an independent third-party specialist who opened it up and verified it was indeed not just a simple clutch cone repair. And he said, look, it has to be completely overhauled and rebuilt, and it's going to cost this much, and this is what a new one is, and I have it. And it was like a $500 difference. So it's like,
why wouldn't you go new?
Why wouldn't you go brand new and just know, you know? So yeah, if it was that simple that it was just like a clutch cone, I would have loved a couple $100 fix, but you know, we took it to someone who wasn't that boatyard, right? So there's no like conflict of interest, and that guy was like, yeah, look, this is just what it is.
Yeah. I also would say we got a few comments on why didn't we try to do the transmission work ourselves, in terms of like, you know, one of the goals when you are doing this cruising lifestyle is being able to work on every part of your system, and I agree with that. And eventually I would like us to get there, but it was our second week on board, and I think the biggest thing is take knowledge where you can get it. And Nick was actually able to work with a technician on reinstalling the transmission, and he walked him through servicing it, and I don't know, I feel like we not only paid for a new transmission, but a really great education on servicing and fixing it ourselves.
I wanted to keep the old one so that I could open it up and look for it, but they gave us such a good core fee to knock the price down that it wasn't worth keeping it.
Yeah.
You know, could I have taken the transmission out and put it back in? Sure. Would I have known how to do the alignment? Not really. And did I know how to do the work on it? Definitely not. So I don't know. Again, you make the decisions based on where you are, the knowledge you have, the experience level you have. That just wasn't something we were ready to do yet. So.
Yeah, I honestly, a lot of the big things that popped up, like the windlass is another thing that didn't pop up on the survey, but we just barely looked over it. We didn't really, and that was a simple fix. That was like a electrical box that went bad. So there's just a lot of the things that happened in our first 3 weeks of ownership. I don't think a lot of people take their boat out on week 3 and take it offshore and go around the Keys and put it through the paces as hard as we did. And so I feel like we had a big shakedown cruise, and a lot of the things that popped up wouldn't have popped up in a 2-hour survey.
I remember trying the windlass out when we were on the sea trial, and it worked. It went up, it went down, it did what it was supposed to do, and then it just stopped working.
Yeah.
Which, also, talking to a lot of boat people, those solenoid boxes go out all the time. We have like 3 spares now on the boat.
Now, the one thing that didn't pop up on the survey that I feel like for sure should have been caught was the propane locker.
That's the one thing I agree that he definitely missed.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, you opened it up and it was completely corroded. Like, I didn't even feel safe to turn on the propane. It was pretty bad.
We have 2 different propane lockers, 2 different areas. And so the one that he marked one of them, but he just totally missed the second.
Yeah.
which is kind of surprising.
It was in the contract where he said, like, I'm going to miss things. There's no way
Yeah.
possible in the amount of time we have that I will find every single issue, so you can't come back with recourse. And even then, like we said, I don't feel like the issues that popped up were things that would have been found, you know?
Yeah, the hard thing that we learned about, like if we would do it differently next time, is that I'd want to bring a mechanic and electrician on board, but the mechanic is going to take like oil samples from the trans and oil samples from the engine, and the previous owner had just done all the flushes and the changes, so it's like you're not going to learn anything off of that old stuff. So I don't know, maybe they would, again, yeah, it's, I don't know, 50-50. Maybe they would have caught those issues, maybe they wouldn't have. Most people are telling us now, like, probably wouldn't have caught it if it was all fresh fluids in there.
Right. Ooh, that actually brings us to the next question before we answer too much on that, of what would you do differently about the purchase process, specifically the survey? And this is probably the best piece of advice that Blaine gave us of, if we could go back, this is exactly what we would do differently, is to hire more in-depth specialist inspections into the major systems. All we did was a general survey. So kind of on that thought you were talking about, if you want to keep going on.
Yeah, I mean, for really expensive boats, we learned that people do all sorts of specialist surveys after the fact. So you have your general go in, then you bring in a mechanic, then you bring in an electrician, then you bring in a rigging specialist, and yada yada. I mean, they have specialists for everything. And for our budget, we didn't think it was necessary. Again, hindsight is 20/20. If I could redo it, I would bring in the general. If it passes with flying colors and you feel confident, then bring in the mechanical guy to make sure the engine and the trans is good. Then bring in the electrician to make sure the electrical looks good, because those are like the two biggest things. And then I guess the third biggest thing would be your sails and your rigging. So it's like those are the biggest costs, and if you can have a specialist approve them, go for it. But we knew the rigging had just been redone within the last 4 or 5 years, so we knew we still had time on it. The sails were pretty fresh, and then we just bought a new one. And so, yeah, I guess the only two I would have done is I would have liked a mechanical and an electrical survey, but
Yeah. Which, on that note, if you are looking at buying a boat and you are looking at doing a more in-depth search, these bugs are terrible.
yeah.
If you are, you do a general survey and you like it and you want to do specifically the engine mechanic to come in, to make sure that you request that the engine has not been serviced. That was a big thing that Blaine said, that even if we had hired someone to do that, because they had done the oil change, they had serviced the engine, there's not a lot of data that, I mean, other than obviously inspecting the engine, but data from the oil that
And
he could have.
he could have done that months before
Right.
we were even interested in that. You just don't know.
Don't know. Yeah. But okay, next question. Ooh, this is a hot take one. Would you have walked away from this boat if all of these things had shown up on your survey?
I would have walked away from the boat only after offering a significant amount lower. Knowing that an electrical system is like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 and the trans cost us $5 to $10 between all the stuff, I easily would have offered $40,000 under asking price if we had found all that stuff, and either asked for the concession or asked for the owner to redo those things. And then if they said no, yeah, I probably would have walked away. There were a lot of island packets for sale in the area, not necessarily less money than what we were spending, but Stewart in the Southern Florida area has a ton of island packets. So it's like we fell in love with the brand. We liked the 40-foot size. We liked that layout. It may not have happened right away, but we could have found another island packet. It might have been a delay in our plans. But yeah, I would have asked for a big concession, and then I would have walked away if they said no.
I kind of agree with that. I would say I felt head over heels when I walked onto this boat. It just felt so clean and so pretty, and like our dream was right in front of us. It's so hard when this is such an emotional purchase, and you find something that you really love. I feel like you kind of look past the things. Like when we looked in the electrical cabinet, we probably, because we have experience with those systems, should have been like, hey, this looks a little messy in here. And I think we thought we would clean it up. We had no idea how systemic the issues were, like past just like the aesthetics and like how crowded it was in there. But yeah, there's just certain things, because you're emotionally tied to the purchase and you are excited, that you look past. But I agree with what Nick said. Probably like it just gives you more bargaining power when you do get the more in-depth surveys. And if we had had that, we probably would have asked for a lower price. But I think I would have a hard time walking away from this.
I think it would have been hard, but I think we could have done it.
Yeah, we fell in love with blue skies, so.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice you would have for someone looking at buying their first boat?
Look at as many boats as you can and talk to as many people as you can. Everyone's got different, there's so many different boats out there. We originally thought we wanted a double ender like a Valiant, and then we walked onto an island packet on accident and fell in love. You just don't know. So you got to talk to as many people, look at as many boats. We probably should have taken our own advice, been stricter with the budget. But yeah, I just think you got to talk to people because you don't know anything. We did the best with the knowledge that we had when it came to making decisions. And that's why we hired the surveyor we did. We knew we didn't know anything, so we hired someone smarter than us. And then we talked to a bunch of different brokers, and then we talked to a bunch of different people about those boats. And so, yeah, you just got to realize you don't know anything, kind of set the ego aside, and then realize that even when you ask all those questions, you're still not going to know anything. We asked all the right people the right questions, and we still made mistakes. And I would still do things differently.
And there's things that you just don't know to ask because you're so green. And we're still so great. We're still in that place where we're only 3 months in. But just when it comes to the purchasing process, like there were questions we didn't ask because we didn't even know that we should have. I think my one piece of advice would be to kind of going back to that like emotional piece. Is being realistic about what you want versus what you need, what your budget allows for, and being able to set aside the emotion and see it strictly as like that's hard to do, but like a business transaction of like, okay, does this make sense for where we want to go? I think that's a big thing is the reason we were looking at Island Packet is we wanted something that was safe to take offshore and one day take around the world. So there were certain boats that we weren't looking at. Now, if you're a weekend cruiser and you're hoping to just stay kind of like coastal, that opens up a different door. I think you have to think about where you want to go, what your budget is, and be realistic about what you're looking at, and about how much work you're willing to put in. That will designate if you're going for an older boat, newer boat, although all boats have issues, it sounds like.
They do.
Okay, next question. Why did you decide to hire a captain, aka Captain Blaine, instead of taking an ASA course for learning?
We wanted to learn on our boat. There's like 4 ways to learn to sail from what we found, ranging from cheap and maybe like less technical to the more expensive and more technical. Is like, you could just buy the boat and go out and learn to sail and watch YouTube videos. It happens all the time. There are tons of channels that do it, nothing wrong with it, but you will make mistakes, and some of those could be costly, deadly, dangerous. The next option up is like to do it with a friend, still kind of free. Bring a friend out there. You definitely know more. I guess you only know as much as the friend knows, and could go well, could go poorly. Then it's like, then you get into the courses and the ASA, which is great, could be pricey. But you're not learning on your boat. You could be learning on a smaller boat, a bigger boat, dinghies. They had all different types of ASA courses. And then 4th is actually bringing a private instructor, a captain like Captain Blaine, onto the boat and learning your lines, your boat, how it sails. And that was by far the most expensive option. I don't know. That's also expensive as relative too, because price-wise, paying for the course itself, it was the most expensive. But then I look at how many things that Blaine also helped us find, fix, diagnose, and prevent from breaking, that then if you add up all those things with the cheaper course, maybe it did end up being cheaper in the long run. I don't know.
Probably.
But I liked learning on our boat. Money aside, learning on your specific boat, doing 10 days, learning the boat, learning the sailing, learning the lifestyle, and having personalized one-on-one or one-on-two instruction, I think is better for us than learning on someone else's boat in a group with like 10 people. The way we learned, it was just great to have Blaine there 24/7.
I also think, and we didn't, well, first of all, Blaine is kind of like, I don't know, a very clutch find.
Yeah.
Like,
that
we
was
got
lucky.
so lucky finding him. So going into, if you were buying your own boat and looking at hiring a captain, I would say just do your research and try to find a captain that has experience, a lot of experience under his belt.
It's not that hard to get the captain designation, so we've been told, and so we've seen and heard of other horror stories of people
Right.
having captains that
Right.
really
Yeah.
are not good. So again, like you said, Blaine is a diamond in the rough. That's not just hiring a captain.
Right.
We got like one of the best captains that was out there. So
Well, and
that was lucky.
I'm sweating so bad. Hold on. Also, one thing we didn't realize when we hired Blaine, and probably the best part about hiring Blaine, was we didn't just get him for the, 10 days on our training. We call Captain Blaine probably like every other day or text with him. He has become
Yeah.
a mentor, and that is, honestly, I almost take back my one piece of advice, is find yourself someone who would be a mentor in the space, and be able to answer those questions for you. That would be hard to find, honestly, but
I text him about everything, man.
he's just
Hey,
the
does this
best.
look funny? And send
Yeah.
him a picture. Yeah. You need someone that knows more than you do.
Right, right.
And he knows a lot more than we do.
And if you find the right person that's passionate about it and just wants to help other people get into the sailing world and you
Yep.
hit it off with them, that is honestly probably the best thing that has come out of the whole hiring a captain versus the ASA, is we have someone who we know we can call, we can trust, and we can ask questions when you can't find it on Google or the cruising forums. So
Yeah.
all right, next one. This is a big question. We've got this quite a bit, especially for people that are looking at buying a boat. How did you get insurance as two people that have no sailing experience, and what does that look like?
It's very hard. And I almost didn't think we thought we had it locked in as we put the offer in, and then our insurance agent called us back as we were on closing day and was like, by the way, you're not insured. So it was very hard.
Yeah.
I applied to probably 20 different ones for us. Mm-hmm. I think I sent out 20 different applications. I worked with individual agents that worked for the different companies, and I worked with brokers. And I like the broker idea because it's one application and they send it out to a bunch of them for you. But first off, all the big ones wouldn't touch me. Progressive didn't even offer us a quote. Geico didn't even offer us a quote. A lot of the big ones just flat out said no. We did ultimately go in with State Farm. They were the one big one that did say yes. We went with a bunch of the boutique ones too, and they said yes, but at price points that were just absurd. $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a year for insurance. Just horrible, horrible quotes. And State Farm came back, they were pretty reasonable. They were $2,500, $3,000 a year. And then the kicker, and this is the hardest part about the advice, is eventually they will ask you for a resume of how much experience do you have with said type of boat that you're insuring. And that was the kicker for us. As soon as I told State Farm I didn't have any, they doubled our quote and they gave it to us for $6,000. So $6,000 with the promise that if we got ASA certifications, Blaine wrote us a letter, we didn't make a claim in the first year, that it would get cut in half for the following year, but the first year was going to be bad. And we both grew up not on boats, I won't say that,
I grew up fishing with my dad all
fluff.
the time.
Yeah,
on
we spent a lot of
small
time on boats.
Little outboards. And
I went down every summer to my grandpa's boat. He had a 35, 40-foot boat. She grew up with the fishing boat. We spend a lot of time on boats, but we've never been the one that owned it, that had to take care of it, that had to buy it, that had to fix it. I've never sailed. Sailing was new. So yeah, when I sent them a resume with that level of experience on there, they just laughed and said, yeah, we'll still give you insurance, but it's going to cost you. So yeah, I get the certifications.
Yeah.
If you can get on other people's boats. We didn't have time to do this, but I think a piece of advice someone gave us is go down to your local dock or marina and just ask to crew for free on people's boats so that you can get the experience, or get all that ahead of buying a boat so that you can be in a better position for the insurance. I don't know if
just
that
experience.
I don't know if that works, or not. I guess I don't know if that
Depends
actually
on
works.
where you're at, I guess.
But insurance is very tough, and that was the other thing. We didn't know that, but the amount of uninsured boaters out there that do the cruising full time is way more than I would ever have guessed. And it makes sense. It is very hard to get, and it is very expensive.
Well, that, and they only cover certain geographical areas. So like,
Oh yeah, I didn't know
when
that they.
if when we decide to go out of the U.S.,
Yep.
that's going to be a different conversation. We'll have to do more research. We don't know enough about
You
that.
got to
to
let
give
them know
any
what your
advice on
cruising
that.
plan is the year ahead. They got different risk factors for different sections, and supposedly they don't cover you to cross oceans if we ever do get to that point. You have to buy like a rider, or what do you call it, a rider exclusion, a separate
Yeah.
policy for offshore stuff, which I'm sure is hella expensive.
Was
But
it- sorry, go ahead.
no, what's up?
I was going to say, wasn't there something with the length of our boat too? Of like over 30 feet or
Oh
over
yeah, I was
40
like,
feet?
what did he say? 36. Like, there's a limit. Like after 36 or 37, you're in a different class
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, so something to think about when you're looking at the length of your boat. You want
Yeah,
something
ask.
that you feel like you can safely operate single-handedly, even.
I
You
don't
know, even if
remember
you're
what
with
the
a
limit
partner.
is, but I do remember when we told him it was going to be 40 feet. He goes, "Oh, you're in the next."
Bumped
so
us
yeah,
into a
you
next
definitely
class.
ask your agent that.
Yeah, something to think about when you start doing your boat search of the length is insurance, for sure.
Yeah.
Do we feel like we answered the insurance thing enough? What we're doing
Yeah.
for dropping our insurance premium for next year is we're keeping like a very, very accurate sailing log and maintenance log.
Oh yeah. that
Nick
is
has
a good
created
call.
an awesome Excel document where we are putting every time we take out the boat, what we did on it, what conditions it was, what we learned.
that resume.
Yeah, it's basically a sailing resume that we will send in, and as long as we don't make a claim in the first year, which we haven't, and we aren't planning on making a claim on anything that we found.
Yeah, we're tracking every maintenance, every trip, just showing that we're responsible boat owners, really.
But this is the last question for the purchase process that we got: is financing versus buying cash. Well, we didn't really have an option to finance. One, we knew we wanted a older boat, something that could cross an ocean. And once you pass, is it 20 or 30 years old?
I think the finance guy said 20.
20. Anything older than 20 years old, your options for lenders, like,
There was like 2 of them.
yeah.
Yeah, so we went with a 30-year-old boat because we couldn't afford a newer boat.
Right.
And then that led to, well, it's still expensive, so I'd like to finance it. And because it was older, there were only 2. And unfortunately, the way the stars aligned, we only started looking at boats because I got fired from the job and all the stars lined up. But because I got fired from the job, I didn't have income, so I couldn't get the loan. Yeah, so it was just kind of like a bad cluster of the only option that really presented itself for these particular types of boats was we had to buy it cash.
Yep.
So it is nice not having a payment.
We own it.
We own it, but
I would say if we could have financed it, we
I
probably
would,
would have.
absolutely would have. It would have just been nicer to keep that money invested, just with the way things are going. I would have rather invested in it and just pulled out each month for the payment that I needed to make.
Yeah. So anyway, when you're looking at boats, just know if it's over 20 years old and you're planning on financing it, will probably severely limit what you are able to do with that. But
Yeah, if you want to quit your job before you go, make sure you get the loan before you leave.
yes, get the loan before you quit your job.
Get the loan.
That's funny. Okay, on to boat and project questions. First one, why did you pick an island packet?
Like you said earlier, it's an emotional purchase. I didn't know anything about it when I set foot on it. Like everyone's always like complimenting us, like, "Oh, you picked a really good boat." And we flew all the way across the country to look at other boats. The Island Packet was just one of the boats. We knew there was a Valiant out here that we wanted to see. Was it the Sparkman? What was that boat called? The Sparkman Stevens. Couple of Ketches we wanted to look at. Like Island Packet was the last boat we wanted to look at. And again, you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know anything about Island Packet. We got here and we asked the broker to show us these other things. He goes, "Well, you take a look at this boat." And the minute I walked on, I was like, "Damn, it's a beautiful." But what did we look at first? It was a 32 or a 35. It was one of the smaller ones.
35.
But man, yeah, that first Island Packet, like changed everything. It was definitely like an emotional thing of like, okay. And then my brain rationalized all the cool things that people know and love about Island Packet of like, oh, it's safe, oh, it's heavy, oh, it's stable, oh, it'll get you home safe. Like I didn't know that when I walked onto it. I walked onto it. It was in budget. It was beautiful. And then we found out it was a good boat.
I think that was when we were searching, our top priority because of the places we want to go was safety. What can actually get us to where we want to go? I know that this is like a highly debated topic about, you know, every boat could cross an ocean, but can every boat do it safely? I don't know, and I don't want to get too far into that, but
no one agrees with that on the internet.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. That's basically how we landed on the subgroup of brands that we were looking at.
Yeah.
And then we fell in love with Island Packet when we stepped on.
We looked at we literally Googled
Perry.
Bob Perry, the Bob Perry designs. We looked at all those. That's really where we started. Can't remember. Was it like Zingaro?
Hold on.
What?
My laptop, I think, just overheated.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it was Sailing Zingaro or Practical Sailor. I don't know. Somewhere in the educational YouTube sphere, I heard the name Bob Perry, and then we looked up all of his designs. Valiant, yeah, like I said, different catches. And then somehow I ended up, again, on accident on the Island Packet. But we wanted a boat that could go anywhere and do anything and be super safe. That was like the main priority.
I'm gonna have to switch over to my phone for questions. This laptop is completely overheated. Feel that?
Oh, yeah. Put that away.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
gonna
want
go
the
put this in the
battery to
car.
fry. Oh man, that didn't last long. That was quick.
Okay. Next question. Has your Island Packet had the Chainplates redone?
Yeah. We only looked at ones that did.
Yeah.
Not much more to say about that.
That was like, when we looked that up, that was the one thing. It was like, oh, Island Packets are great boats, but the Chainplates.
We, when we first started doing it, we asked that question. We were smart enough to at least ask, like, what are the big problems that this
specifically
brand has? And everyone we talked to said that the tanks are made out of stainless, so eventually they get replaced. Chain plates, wrong stainless steel, those got to get replaced. Any 30-year-old boat, you're going to be cautious about a trans and an engine, and then just rigging in general. Again, just another general thing about boats. So those were like the 4 things that we had to look out for. So
when were our Chainplates redone?
like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Around the same time as the
when we
rigging,
saw
right?
that it was like a 25 or 30 grand, we were like, I don't want to do that. Let's just only look at ones that have already had it redone. And
yeah. Okay, what are some of the repairs and fixes you've done so far? That I can think of off the top of my head. We fixed the windlass. We serviced the anchor chain. We did we remarked it. We dealt with some of the rusting issues. I'm probably going to go back and end up rewiring some of that windlass. I want to put it in like a wider type box, and just things that we didn't know when we were doing that it's like, oh, this is a marine environment. You need to take an extra step to make sure this is safe. So we're probably going to end up redoing that.
Yep.
What else have we done?
Redid the propane system on night 1.
Oh, yeah.
Fixed the refrigerator, well,
I don't know.
on
what was
accident.
going on with that.
And
We had the transmission done.
transmission is brand new. We're in the middle of the electric, video coming soon, but the electric's all been pulled out. We did finish the bottom paint already. We've got, what else did we finish?
I don't know. And that is actually, I think the next video that's going to come out is our bottom paint process.
Bottom paint.
So,
Isn't that the next question of what's coming?
yes. Next one is, what are the projects that you're planning to do while you're in the yard?
The 3 big ones were the paint, because we knew the paint had to be done. We decided on the through holes because it's out, and some of ours are turning blue, some aren't, so I think we're going to replace them with a composite. Obviously the electric, and then the bilge. The bilge is bad. We got so many comments about the bilge. Rest assured, it's been redone the right way. We ran new lines for the old stuff. We ran new lines for the new stuff we're putting in. Electric for the main, an electric for the backup, a manual for the backup. We created a crash pump off of the engine. We've got another little like sump pump that can move around that'll be portable in case like it doesn't drain to the bilge right away. And someone pointed it out, we bought it, I haven't installed it yet, but a high water alarm. So it's like, man, the bilge is gonna be insane. So that's like a good safety system. So like we said in the last video, sinking and fires, redoing the electric so no fires, redoing the bilge so we don't have to worry about water.
I like to do some of like the more cosmetic and like living upgrades. I want to get a single basin sink and a better
Yeah.
faucet, replacing the faucets in the bathrooms. That's the fun stuff though. That's like the,
I think the goal with being on the hard was safety.
Yes.
Safety, and then stuff that can only be
Yes.
done out of the water, and then we can keep doing maintenance as
Yeah.
we go.
and the biggest project, we were thinking about doing the teak and refinishing the teak while we're here. I don't know if we'll end up
Yeah.
getting to that. It depends on timing. We have a very short window before we need to be out of here and heading north for hurricane season. But yeah, the biggest project is going to be the electrical.
And then we made
It's
one
massive.
fun purchase, which we got installed. We got a code 0.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was not needed, but we had the time while we were here, so
Yeah,
Colin and
it's
his
a fun
brother
one.
made us a new sail. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of the boat?
You go first. I don't know.
Honestly, love that we went with the, what is it called? The style of bedroom we have? The Pullman,
The Pullman
berth?
berths. That's a good call.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love the layout of it. I love, it feels so cozy, and you can close it off and it's its own room back there. And it's not in the nose of the boat, so it's not like bouncing as much. It's definitely not as good as having it in the back, but I don't know. I just like the layout. The layout of our bedroom is really nice with the storage. We have our own private head up front.
That's what I was probably going to say.
You
would
can't
be-
copy mine.
No,
You
I
can
know.
copy
I was
mine.
going to say the layout of the whole boat. I do like that our bedroom and bathroom is separate. I like that we got the second cabin, and that second cabin even can separate the bathroom for themselves when they're on board. I love that we have the fold down table so that you have this big living room area, you know, in the saloon, and then the kitchen galley area. Like, I love the U shape. I love cooking in our kitchen area. And then I think when we do get to the cruising lifestyle, I love how our cockpit is situated where we can spend like a lot of time outside. So I do really like the layout. But if I was picking my own thing,
I was gonna say, so basically he loves the whole boat, all of it, every inch of it.
yeah, I think, I don't know, my favorite thing about the boat, I guess I have nothing really to compare it to, but I like sailing it. Like, my favorite thing about, like, how it feels under sail when we did the 10 days with Blaine.
Yeah.
Right, and I did that trip across the Gulf of Mexico. Like, it just, the way ours feels stable, the way it cuts through the water, the way it points, the way it handles, the way it feels when the wind catches. I really like how the Island Pack, it sails like a nice boat.
I would agree. It feels like it like dances through the water.
Yeah,
You know.
I do really like the way it sails.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Then what is your least favorite part of the boat?
Yeah, the toilets. Like,
I knew you were gonna say that. Okay.
yeah, we talked about toilets enough. Next
Yeah.
subject.
Mine, and you can't really help this with a boat that's this size. I wish we had, and this is such a like a nitpicky thing, but I wish there was more space to just like chill up top other than the cockpit.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd love to be able to go up and put my yoga mat out and do like a yoga flow in the morning and like actually lay out up there, and maybe I'll figure out a way to make it work. But yeah, I feel like you only get that on a catamaran. I don't know. Or a really big sailboat. But
Twice the space for twice the price.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That, and I have one other gripe, and it's not having a sugar scoop. I think a sugar scoop would make our life so much easier.
But we have the swim platform.
We have the swim platform, but imagine how much nicer it would be if Marley could just like, you know, instead of us having to like hoist him down there.
Well, the sugar scoops on the Island Packets still don't have steps. They have a ladder. You're thinking about the sugar scoops like on a
On the
catamaran
cat,
where it's like
yeah.
actual
Yeah,
steps
you're
into
right.
the boat.
So I guess that doesn't really count then. What is going on with your electrical system, and are you hiring a professional to do it?
Yeah, we hired a professional.
To make a...
Nick Drez. The professional.
Who's apparently colorblind. Yeah, we found out Nick's colorblind. So that's fun. That's going to be fun going through electrical.
We are not hiring a professional because one, just the flat out economics, we can't afford it. 2, we want to know the system, so if we build it, we'll know it. And 3, we have more experience doing this than the average person. I think if you bought a boat for the first time, it might be like super daunting, but I have done like electrical work inside of my bus. And I did electrical work in her van, and she built the entire thing from scratch.
I did, yeah. So I have a pretty decent knowledge of at least like the brains of it, like a lithium system, Victron components, how they all tie
Yeah.
together with the links distributors, fusing. I have a good idea of that. So I feel like, and so do you, because we
Yeah.
worked on it. You had a very similar system in your bus.
Yeah.
Which maybe we'll go into that later about like van life and boat life.
But we did hire a pro. We paid quite a bit of change to have a pro build us a professional diagram. Both of them were like PhDs in marine architecture, ABYC certified for electric work. Like, we hired the pros to build the new system that is standard, and then we're gonna go build it and make it work in the boat. And then there's a secondary thing that they do where they offer to come out and like certify it afterwards and check over your work. My God.
That's a loud one. He's probably low. So to answer the question, yes, we hired a professional to make us a diagram that is ABYC certified. Nick found the electrician.
We actually got a referral from our friends Evan and Carly, Navigating Nitzels. They have a YouTube channel that maybe we can link somewhere here. But they did the same thing. They worked with this company, Boat Doctor, owned by Connor, and then the other guy, Owen, that works there. Owen was phenomenal to work with. And they do it where they build you the diagram, they can sell you the parts, they
source it for you.
They can be available for like calls to help you with the install, and then they can come and Connor will come out and like check over your boat if you want. So they have all those different services. So far we've just used them for like theory, talking through building the diagram, actually even hopping on a call with Owen later today because we got more questions. So it's really nice. And then we will be building it.
Yeah. Physically, we'll be building it, but the brains of it was constructed by an actual ABYC.
Someone way smarter than us.
Way smarter than us, and they'll come and certify our work.
Yeah.
So kind of a cool route to do it so that they have given us the blueprint to it, and we're just putting together the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they know what they're doing.
that way we know everything in our system, how to work on it, where it's at, and we save some money because that's where the real money comes in, is the hours that it takes to put together a system like this.
You could easily spend 15 to 20 grand on the parts and then spend another 10 to 20 grand on the actual labor of them doing it. So we saw quotes for $20,000 to $40,000 to build electrical systems. So sweat equity.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then all the other projects that we're planning on doing, we are planning on doing ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, literally the only thing we've paid for so far was the transmission and for someone to cut a sail for us and make us a sail, which I think is pretty good. I think most people pay for those things.
Yeah.
Everything else we've done.
All right, moving on to the next section of questions, cruising plans, the fun stuff. Did you just catch that?
Dude.
You Miyagi'd that shit.
Ninja. What do you say, cruising plans?
Cruising plans. So the first question is, what are your cruising plans this year?
Well, we're not going to the Bahamas right now.
We wanted to.
Yeah, that ended early.
Thank God we didn't. Can you imagine going through this in the Bahamas?
No. And, like, that would actually be terrible.
Someone commented on, like, I think it was last week's video of, if this had happened in the Bahamas, we probably would be sailing back and like sell this damn boat.
Yeah, moving back to Hawaii. No, we're hopefully going to visit Em's family, do a New England summer.
Yeah.
And check out, Chesapeake, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, do the new Northeast. And then we'll go to the Bahamas later this year.
Yeah, so ideally, if we can get all of the projects done in time where we can safely leave Florida, we do some ICW cruising, check out all the cute little towns on the way up, maybe a little bit of offshore to get up there faster. And then my family lives in Cape Cod, so hoping to do some stuff on the Cape this year.
Yeah. We are more tropical people than anything. One of our favorite channels is like Sailing Magic Carpet, and it's cool to see the boat in that rugged northern environment, but we want to surf, we want to dive, we like the island life, we lived in Hawaii for all that time. I want to get the boat somewhere warm like that. That's my goal.
Actually, that perfectly segues into the next question of what is your dream destination to sail to?
I really want to go to the South Pacific. I think out of all the different cruising grounds, that's where I want to live for the longest on the boat. I want the boat back in Hawaii. I want to go to Tahiti, French Polynesia.
That was going to be mine, was French Polynesia.
Fiji, Marquesas. Like South Pacific. I think we could stay there for years, honestly. Like that is I think we'll get stuck there for a while.
We lived in Hawaii previously to moving out here to buy the boat, and I have this vision of us bringing our boat and parking it up at Waimea Bay and seeing all of our friends and the family and having everybody out on the boat. So Hawaii would be a dream destination. Obviously, that is
in Baja.
Yes, Baja.
Because we did it in the van.
That's such a good point. Yeah, we did. So we did van life for anyone who has not seen any of that content. We did van life for 2 years, and we went down the entire Baja Peninsula. And there was, it'll be kind of full circle for us because there were times where we had just started dating at that point. We started dating while we were in my van. In Mexico. And there were beaches that we camped on, and we would see sailboats like on anchor in these beautiful locations and looking out at them and being like, one day that'll be us. What are you most nervous about when you get back out on the water?
Sinking in fires. Like it doesn't change. I don't want to set the boat on fire, and I don't want to sink it. I think those are the two biggest fears. They will always be the two biggest fears. I think after I just did those 500 or 600 miles to Mexico without seeing land for a whole week,
which we'll have a video coming out on that of his entire race.
I feel a lot more confident out there with just like navigation, charting, routing, sail trimming, helming, making decisions of things that are broken on the boat. We didn't see land for 6 days, and I didn't have Captain Blaine there to back me up. And I felt like really good with that. So like going offshore is getting less and less scary, as long as I know like our communication and safety and all that stuff, and then our systems can back us up.
I don't know. I didn't. So since we got back with Captain Blaine, Nick has had the opportunity to do actually 2 deliveries with Blaine. No, one delivery with Blaine, and
we went from Beaufort to Stewart.
So you've gotten to do some of like the East Coast offshore, and then Nick got invited on a sailing regatta from St. Pete to Isla Mujeres. So you've had a lot more experience since.
I mean, not a lot. I did 2.5 days with Blaine, and then 7 days.
I feel like you feel a lot more comfortable going offshore at this point because you've gotten to do a little bit more. So I think that's what I'm most nervous about is my skill set. I'm nervous and that comes with just getting out and trying and practicing. I haven't been offshore without.
Plus, you're feeling the PTSD of all the things going wrong.
I think, but I honestly feel like a lot of that feeling will go away once we have combed through this boat and fixed and touched everything. Like the biggest thing with like the PTSD of like feeling like something was going to break every time we took it out is because we didn't know what we didn't know, and we were so new to the systems.
And because it did break every time we took it out.
It did. And once we have fixed all those things, I mean, obviously we will be fixing this boat for the rest of our lives if we keep it. But it's, once I can feel confident in the boat itself because we have touched all the systems and we know how to work it. We know if something goes wrong, kind of like where that's happening. Then it just comes down to skill set and building a skill set, which is when you try anything new, you're going to have like that nervous period. And with sailing, I feel like every time you experience something, it's the first time you've experienced it, Like Captain Blaine was saying, like every time I come out here, it's never the exact same scenario because you're dealing with weather and different boats and different scenarios, and I don't know. So I just feel like that's what I'm most nervous about. Is just building my skill set.
I also think it's funny. Sometimes I think when we get advice from people who have been sailing their whole lives, 20, 30, 40 years of experience, that kind of shit on what we're doing, forget what it's like to be a beginner. You've known how to do that thing for so long that you assume it's easy for everybody, and it's brand new to us. We don't know anything.
We are literal idiots when it comes to this because we are learning everything for the first time.
That's the only way you can learn, dude, is you have to make mistakes and you got to go try it.
Right.
Like, some of the comments we get, I'm like, how would I have known that?
Yeah.
You've been doing this for 40 years.
And I will say that's like 1% of the comments. The most of the comments are like, you guys are doing great. Like, even though, and we really do try to share like the inner dialogue of we don't want to paint this as something that like we take lightly and we're just like, like we do get anxious when we take this boat out because it's like, it's 40 feet. We don't know exactly what we're doing quite yet. So we're learning. But the way that I feel like we think about it is everyone's hurt somewhere. And if other people are doing it, why can't we? And you just got to be comfortable being uncomfortable and putting yourself into these situations where you're learning and you're growing. And that was one of the big reasons we wanted to get into this lifestyle is to learn and grow and challenge ourselves and try something new. And that's what we're doing. So I don't know, fault us or not. Yeah, we might be idiots, but at least we're trying.
We're out here
We're doing our best.
Yeah, we're trying it. The answer's somewhere in there.
Do you feel like you're ready to go out on your own?
Yeah. Cross an ocean, no.
No.
But do I feel like we can go out there and cruise? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Will I still get
Hesitant.
nervous? Sure.
Yes.
I'll probably still be nervous the first night on anchor. I'll probably still be
Healthy
nervous when
nerves.
we do the 12 to 18 hour crossing from
Right.
Florida to the Bahamas. Yeah, I'll be nervous, but can we do it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like in what we've learned, the crash course with Blaine and then Florida to Mexico, like I definitely feel like we can do it. You're still going to be nervous, but we can do it.
I think going into it with the attitude of like, we are going to make mistakes. We are going to but that's how you learn. So
we're going to break stuff.
We're going to break stuff. We're going to have to fix this thing. Everyone who has a significant amount of miles under their belt, it sounds like, sees the things we're going through and they have a story or 5 about when that happened to them too. So, and I don't know, that just comes with the comfortability of it. So I do feel like we're ready to start going out on our own and building skills.
Yeah.
Like Nick said, we are nowhere near ready to cross an ocean.
Yeah, it'll years probably.
Years.
I had this idea that like we could do 1 season in the Bahamas before we bought the boat, learn how to sail, and then just be ballsy and go for it. And it'll probably be years before we want to cross an ocean, but
I think it's easy to say that from an outside perspective when you haven't done it before, but then you actually put yourself in situations and you're like, oh wait, no, there's so much to learn, and I feel like we could spend a lifetime learning.
The things that I've realized is that people that are way more experienced than us still lose their boat in the middle of the ocean. Stuff can still go wrong. The ocean is not to be messed with. But for all the people that are saying like we can't do it, dude, the more I read that stuff in the comments, that is just fuel to the fire. I want to cross an ocean so bad. I don't know when it'll be, but like, I think we'll get there.
We will. I think it's funny because I look back at the first video we put out, that we bought a boat, and in the intro it talks about like we bought a boat to sail around the world, and I think a lot of people took that as like, oh my God, tomorrow. These people bought this boat and they're gonna go immediately out to sea and they're gonna die. Like literally.
We're not that crazy.
No, absolutely not. At least I view it, I don't know if you feel this way, I don't want to speak for both of us, but I view this as like chapters of a larger story. And right now we're in the learning and the fixing chapter and the building blocks chapter. Like if this is sailing an ocean, we are here.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like it's our
we will get there because that's just who we are.
Yeah.
We just figure it out as we go. You know, I have full confidence that we can get there.
Also, should we tell everyone what the next chapter is after the boat? Someone set can you set a reminder on YouTube for like 10 years in the future, come back and check this video because we're going to buy a plane next. We're going to do plane camping.
I don't know. We might love the boat so much we don't.
Bus, van, boat, second boat, plane.
Or maybe we'll go buy like an old abandoned school or mansion like every other YouTuber is doing.
I don't think I want to buy an old school. That doesn't sound fun.
I think it'd be a fun project. But anyway.
All right, what's the next?
Next question. Okay, we are on to lifestyle related questions. This is the last section. We got a lot of these on Instagram. So why did you choose this lifestyle?
We just said it, transportation checklist. We've already done the boat, we did the van, we visited all the states, moved to the furthest state, lived on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Then it's the boat, then it's the plane. Just going down the checklist.
I think for me, I have always been so infatuated with the ocean. I wanted to be a marine biologist growing up. And then I ended up going to business school like everyone else who doesn't know what they want to do with their life. Communications and marketing. But anyway, I love the ocean. I spent a lot of time out on the ocean with my dad. I come from a long line of fishermen. It feels like I have salt in my blood. And after doing the van and living tiny and adventuring and having that freedom, this feels like the perfect coalition of the two. That's personally how I feel.
Coalition?
I know.
I don't think that's the word.
No? Cohesion. The perfect
combination. Coalition's like a task force, like a coalition.
Anyway, I just feel like it brings a lot of the things together. That and this lifestyle feels like I want to do a whole video on van life versus boat life. But this is like, if van life is hard, like here's like normal life, right? This is van life. This is boat life. Like it feels like such a challenge, and I feel like it's scratching our brains in such a good way and really helping us grow as people. And I don't know, I think that aspect of the lifestyle is really cool. That and the places it can take us. We have this like adventurous spirit. We want to go see it all. And this feels like we did the van and we got to do all of North America pretty much, other than driving up to Alaska, which I still would like to do, and then the Pan American Highway through South America. But this can take us international. We can go around the world if we wanted to. We take it that
It
far.
scares me more to think about buying a house and just getting a normal 9-to-5 again. I think that's why I keep going for these alternative lifestyles.
Yeah.
And then you,
I feel like everyone should have experiences like this where they are really putting themselves out of their comfort zone. And I always think about like choose your hard, right? Like waking up every day and going to a job that you don't love. That's hard in its own way too. Like that is
Yeah.
hard. That is a lifetime of choosing that. And we've just chosen our hard to work on boat projects and sweat our asses off and go see the world. So
it's all about the choices, man. This is not a great financial choice, but it's the fun choice.
oh my God. I will never forget the conversation when Nick called his bank
Horrible.
to pull out from your investments to buy the boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was like, "You're doing what? This is
Yeah.
a horrible financial decision, but damn, that's cool."
Yeah. What did she say on the phone?
Oh, it was a she.
She said something. Oh, she's like, oh, so you're buying a house? Because it's like such a big sum of money. Is this down payment for a house? It's a boat. Horrible financial call, but I hope you have a lot of fun.
Oh no, now my phone is overheating. We're overheating, the phone's overheating.
That's why I hid my phone down here.
Oh, I've been trying to
In
do
the
the
shade.
questions. The next question is, how are you adjusting to the lifestyle?
Well, I think because we started in the van and a bus and living tiny, living on wheels,
Yeah.
it's been significantly easier. I think for a lot of the people we've met that have jumped straight in, it's like boating being their first thing. It's so hard because you're like, you're learning systems, you're learning sailing, you're learning boating, your first time you're living tiny. It's like kind of overload. We know how to live tiny. We know we get the game of like conserve electric, conserve water, no long shot. We get all that. We get, the system side. So I think for us that we're just focused on boat specific systems and like actually learning to sail. But the rest of it, I can't imagine. I don't know.
If this
I
was
can't
your
imagine doing
first-
all of it
yeah.
at the same time. That would be so stressful. And then if we're just being like really honest about it, we haven't lived on the boat for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We've been living in a house, working on the boat. So again, how long have we lived on the boat?
Not long
We lived
enough.
on the boat for like 2 months.
Yeah,
And
it feels like the van and like living on the road is like a perfect stepping stone to
Oh,
this.
the
yeah.
boat feels like a mansion.
It feels huge, 40 feet.
The van was 19 feet
Yes.
long, so this feels ginormous.
Just for perspective, we lived in a space together, 70 square feet in the van for 2 years. That's like the size of maybe our bedroom.
I can legitimately be in a different room in the boat.
That's crazy.
And not hear you
That's crazy.
calling my name.
It feels huge. So like there was no adjustment with like downsizing. If anything, it feels like we can't even fill the boat with all the things. We brought very little things with us.
Yeah, seriously, we brought every possession that we owned onto the boat, and we still have half of our storage lockers completely
Which is
empty
great.
because we don't own enough stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm totally fine with that.
I don't feel like any boater ever says that too.
No.
You end up collecting so many things that you don't have enough room on the boat.
I feel like we'll still end up getting rid of stuff too.
we are not even close to that yet.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone's like looking at getting into this lifestyle, go rent a van. Go rent a van, see how you operate in that, and that lifestyle teaches you a lot about how to do this and be resourceful.
Agreed.
There's things that are easier about this lifestyle. There's things that are harder, a lot harder, and I think that that's a great stepping stone, at least
Yeah.
for us. Okay. How is Marley adjusting to the lifestyle, and how are you dealing with having a dog on board?
He loves it.
He's so adaptable. I found Marley on the side of the road when I was in college. And since then, he has been through every major life change with me. He was there when I built out the van. He was there with us when we traveled in the van. He moved to Hawaii with us. We flew him there. He moved back with us. He will adapt to any situation. I feel like he's just like your classic Labrador, just happy-go-lucky. He just
Yeah.
wants to be there with you.
Yeah.
A couple challenges, like logistically with having a dog on board.
Yeah, it's tough.
Going back to like the sugar scoop thing, we don't have a great way to get him into the dinghy. We have these like fold out RV stairs right now, which are working really well to get at least from the cockpit down into the dinghy. But I don't know how he's 10, so he's getting older. His joints, I'm starting to see him slow down, which I don't even want to think about. but yeah, we're probably gonna have to make some adjustments as he gets older, especially getting from the cockpit down into the galley.
Yeah.
He struggles with that. I mean, that is like a vertical. Nick has been putting him up and down. Potty situation, that's going to be a whole different animal. We have only been on the boat for 2 months with him, and like physically lived on the boat for 2 months with him.
We take him to shore 5 times a day.
We do. We just put him down the dinghy, take him to shore. He gets to run around. He gets to potty. We have not figured out a solution for him going on the boat. And we probably won't need to for a little while, at least, if we're doing ICW cruising. But eventually, I would love to train him. We're probably gonna get one of those like patches of grass and train him to go on that. I've heard it's difficult. He's very, very clean boy. He does not like to pee, or when he poops, he goes and he hides it. So like, it's gonna be hard to train him how to do that on his home. Anything that he associates as his home, he will not do anything near it. So that's gonna be difficult. I think we might have Nick like pee on one of the stanchions and see if we can get Marley to lift his leg and pee off the side. Gonna have Dad show him how it's done.
That's not real.
I don't know. So more to come on that question. We really don't know about the potty situation. But other than that,
we have
he
to
loves
figure
it.
out something for the boat, because like even just the Bahamas, 12 to 18 hours, like he can't hold it the whole way. We've literally seen cruiser forms of like, hey, we left in the morning and the dog still hasn't, like we can't do that.
No, he's old. He's sweet.
Yeah. But he loves it. He loves the water. He loves being by us.
Oh, he's
he
such a
loves
water boy.
schnoozling in the cockpit. Like he does really like it.
Classic lab. He loves to swim.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, his favorite thing is just being right by our side. It's our little buddy, a little sidekick.
Yeah.
So he loves it. This one, and this is a massive question. We get this quite a bit. How are you affording to do this lifestyle? We're not.
That's the real answer.
That's the real answer. But you know, money comes and goes.
I've always had a full-time job for all of the other types of travel we did. When I lived in the bus for 4 out of the 4.5 years, I had a full-time job as a remote sales guy. When we were in the van, I had a full-time job for 2 years working for HubSpot. When we were in Hawaii, both stints, I've worked for Snowflake and HubSpot while in Hawaii, always. And then, like again, we talk about the stars aligning to buy the boat, right? Living off savings, buying the boat, getting fired from the job, it all lined up to go for it. We are living off savings, not very successfully with all the boat maintenance and costs that go with it. The dream is to make a living off of YouTube and making videos. Em has, made videos for hotels and big corporations and like the corporate world, and we want to make videos for ourselves and make money doing that. Right now, we're, not doing that super successfully. We make like $500 a month off of YouTube. So it's like, it's starting, it's growing. It's definitely not like a career. $500 a month is not really enough to support. But, so we're living off of savings. We're making a little bit. We're like very transparent about that. Like, is what it is. It takes a while to build an audience and, build this. So we appreciate like everyone that
thank you guys
subscribes
so much
and everyone that watches, and we appreciate our members. Like every little bit helps as we grow it. So we want to be able to give back and make cool videos that people can tune out of the real world for 20-30 minutes a week and experience the sailing with us. We always had we've always had full-time jobs. We're trying the savings route. It is very rough. We want to do this full-time.
This goes back to the advice in the beginning of being realistic about your finances. When we wanted to do this, we set aside enough to buy the boat, as well as what we thought live pretty minimally for a year. We bought the boat, we set aside enough, I think I said 10% of whatever your purchase price is for maintenance. And that was not enough, obviously. And I think that if I were to do it again, I would set aside closer to like 30%, because it's a 30-year-old boat that obviously is going to have projects on it.
We blew through almost all of what we set aside in 7 months. like if we're just being really honest, the maintenance and the living for a year We have spent all of that in the first 6 to 7 months.
Yeah,
and like
so-
not even jokingly, we talk about it at least once a week on whether or not I should go back and get
Yeah.
another full-time job so we can grow the YouTube and still have enough to pay the bills. And
We're hoping it doesn't come to that, because the
Yeah.
dream would be buying this boat was to actually go and experience the lifestyle. This is the first time we've gotten to travel where Nick doesn't have a full-time job, where he works
we
for
haven't even
someone
made
else.
it to the start line yet.
I
We're like
know. We're so
like
close. We could
we're
taste
so
it.
close to the start line.
It,
This might be too transparent.
Yeah, I
we're
don't
gonna
know
put
if
this
I'm
on
going to
there.
put this in, but Nick did tech
Yeah.
sales. I did real estate in Austin, and then when I left and I traveled in the van, I did freelance photography, videography. I've done some commercial video projects for like Nick said, like larger hotels and stuff like that. So videography is kind of my background. And since doing this, all of my creative efforts are now going into YouTube. I'm not doing any freelance clients, so
Yeah.
we are living like completely off of savings. Best advice I would have if you're looking at doing this lifestyle: set aside twice what you think you should. If you're going the savings route, set aside twice.
Whatever number you think is safe, it probably
Yeah,
isn't.
still to be determined. I would not come to us for advice on how to afford this lifestyle, because we're still figuring that out.
People, I think everyone deserves to know, because I feel like
Because everyone, you get on Instagram, or, oh my God, I'm sweating so much. You get on social media and it's like, quit your job, go buy a boat, travel
Yeah.
the world. And it's like, okay, yes, here for all of that, but we'll be the ones to tell you how it is. Like,
we're
the
not
nitty-gritty
making
of it.
any money. We're not trust fund kids. We're not multimillionaires. We are not
Bootstrapping.
getting parents from our money. We are bootstrapping it. We are not YouTube or social media royalty. You know, you hear about YouTubers making millions, but maybe some of them, not us. I think our YouTube thing estimates we'll make like $6,000 this year.
Let's go,
You know,
baby.
so it's like, I don't know, but I think people need like a realistic.
We can pay for our solar panels.
I think people need the realistic side of like what it
Yeah.
costs. YouTube and the other stuff of just like boating. I
Yeah.
actually value being transparent with that, because when we were trying to get into it, we were looking to see what other YouTubers and other people were doing, and like not everyone shares that stuff. So yeah, we don't have a lot of money, don't make a lot of money, and it costs a lot.
Yep. Favorite quote or life lesson from Captain Blaine? Captain Blaine, if you're watching this, you have so many fans. We get messages about Captain Blaine all the time, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. He is just like one of our favorite people. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, one of the funniest
There's
things.
so many. It's hard to boil it down. Like,
I
he's
know.
full of one-liners and wisdom.
I think one of my favorites was when he told us we were going to purposefully crash the boat. We were going to purposefully ground it so that we know what it felt like and we could get out of it in a stress-free situation. And then after we did it, we were like going away. And I was like, man, the depth thing's all over the place. How much water do we need under the boat? And he's like, an inch. How much water do you need under the keel of the boat? An inch. As long as you have an inch, you're safe. You can glide over anything. He said,
Wisdom.
he said it's so matter of fact, like, yeah,
Both of us were like, what?
do you want to aim for 2 feet, 3 feet? Like, when do you get nervous? When it says less than an inch of water, then you get nervous. Okay. I also like the one at the beginning. The calendar, I think, still might be the best
Ooh,
quote.
that's
is,
a great one.
what's the most dangerous thing you could have on a boat? And it's a calendar, and that's probably pretty true.
Yeah.
All the YouTube videos we watch of like people trying to push weather windows and stuff, like,
Yeah.
which is tough. You know, you try to like have family or friends meet you places, and then you're like, well, when are you going to be there? And it's like, I don't know. And calendars and boats don't really work together.
And then all around, like, I guess this isn't really a quote, but we were talking about this earlier, is just his outlook on life. He's very similar to
Yeah.
how we look at things. He
Yeah.
has such a cool story. I'd love to like sit down and interview him sometime for the channel, but just about going after what you want and being the architect of your life and building your dream life. He talked about how he used to go talk at colleges about like asking people what their dream is. What was it that he said? This really stuck with me. He was saying like it was a course that he was teaching at a college where it was parents bringing like their kids that were like in middle school
Yeah.
or elementary school. And he would ask the kids like, okay, who all in here has a dream? And they raise their hand and they say what they want to do. Like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a professional sports player, all these things. And then he would ask it to the parents. Like, what was your dream? And then he would ask the kids, how many of you saw your parents achieve their dream?
Yeah.
And all the hands almost dropped, he said. And it was basically like, okay, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you should stop pursuing your dream. Just because you have kids, you shouldn't stop pursuing your dream. And he would encourage the parents and the kids One, because seeing a parent follow a dream and like really go all in on something teaches the kid how to do that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so cool that was part of the teaching of it. I probably butchered that horribly, but I don't know. We have very similar outlooks on life, just chasing after what you want, and
I think you nailed it.
yeah.
You and I have had those conversations separately about the concept of designing your life.
Mm-hmm.
And too many people are passive with their life and they let life happen to them. And you should design your life around what you want, not doing the other things so that eventually one day you can do that. Like go out and live it and try to achieve it now. And again, privileged positions that we are in, and that's why I like being transparent about the money too, is like,
Yeah.
we do not have the money situation figured out. We're still trying to chase it anyway because this is what we want to do.
Right.
But Blaine exemplifies that. He quit the corporate world, did the sailing thing like what we're trying to do, and then, you know, as life pivots, like he found a way to make money from doing that, doing the captain thing, doing the delivery thing, doing the training thing, and you can build your life around the things that are important to you. He's 30 years ahead of us, and he's figured that out. And
Yeah.
I think that's just a good life lesson for other people to try to go and model after that.
I agree.
That was a lot of questions.
That was a lot of. There's so much in here. I might just post all of it, honestly.
That was like hours of okay.
Yeah. So that was a lot.
If you made it to the end,
Yeah.
thank you.
We should do one of those things where you say like a keyword if you made it to the end. Like if you made it to the end of this video, what's the word we should have them put in the comment?
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
What
now.
is
No, I
a
don't
what is
know.
a catchphrase that we've had before?
I'm not cool enough to have a catchphrase. Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah.
If you've made it to the Mexican Coke. If you made it to the end of this video, put in the comment Mexican Coke. That way I know you made it to the end. I appreciate you watching through. If we didn't answer any questions or if there were things we still left out or things you want us to expand upon more,
Right.
go ahead and drop them down. We really do look at every comment, question, and we try to get to all of them. We really do.
And we go really in depth in our Discord too. Not to like plug our membership in here, but something we're really trying to build right now with the memberships is a community, and we've got this like awesome little Discord chat with.
We do.
I mean, we've got 25 members now, so it still feels very personal, and we answer everybody in the chat, and people are having great conversations about getting into the cruising lifestyle and just building community there, and yeah.
Well, people that know more than us are in there too.
Yes,
Other people
it's
with
great.
boats too, so it's not just us commenting. It's now you're getting kind of the whole effect.
Yeah. And again, I want to repeat this. We are so green and so new to this. Take everything we say with a grain of salt.
Do your own research.
Do your own research.
Yeah.
We're still idiots. But this is just our experience. And I figured, I don't know, I would love to see more transparency about this stuff online. So we're going to show up and be that honesty.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. If nothing else from this channel, you know you're going to get like the true inner thoughts, experience, and yeah. But looking forward, okay, let's transition this. Looking forward, we have a lot of project videos headed to YouTube. We've got bottom paint that I think is going to come out next week. We're starting to tackle the bilge and the electrical system. So it'll be a couple months of build and DIY boat projects and us figuring it out as we go.
Stick with us.
Stick with us, please.
We promise. I know that I enjoy the travel and the cruising stuff way more, and we promise it's coming.
Yeah.
Stick with us as we get through a lot of these build things, and then we can go sail around the world together after that.
Yep. Can't wait to get back to the sailing.
Yeah.
I feel like we need like a catchphrase to end videos with.
We'll think of
Great
one.
Scott.
Maybe we can source some in the comments too.
Yeah.
Type
Guys,
in Mexican Coke, put your comment or your question in there, and then come up with a catchphrase for us.
Yeah, we need a catchphrase. So give us a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm melting. It is so hot. All right, guys.
Did I get a farmer's tan? I feel like I probably got a farmer's tan.
We'll see you next week.